Get out! Get on the floor! Down!
We have a visual. I have visual on the horse rider. This is Star, see that out.
A ninja.
So I believe we've uncovered a domestic cell.
Ako pehea. Kai konei mata, waikura.
Is the shooter armed?
Terrorist is armed.
Stop! It's only a boy!
Nei ko Tamati, ai pāpāhawa nei ona whakaro ki runa i au koutou. He manuhiri tātātou, ai ruto i te studio e te iwi, a ko tōna inua, ko te Arepa Kahi. Ko ia i roto i nā mahi a kiriata, nā mahi he tanata rono nui. Tērā pēr ko koe he actor no e chief o he director noi ho. He mata tāhua tāna me nā wahine tino rata ki a koe. Waia mai nei runa i tō mātou waia e te iwi, mena he pātai tā koutou. Waia mai kia whakamohio atu, mena he pātai ko tā koutou. Ko tō mātou kiriata ko Muru, ko tērā te kaupapa o te atanei. Engari, ai tika me mihi atu ki a koe, Chief, i tae mai ki tō tātou nei taha, ai te ata nei tēnei haura o te rani, a ki te whakamahana i o mātou studio, o tira ki te whakarangatirahia i tō tātou iarere o te korimako o Taranaki, o tira ki te whakamohio e mātou e nā iwi katoa o Taranaki, tō tātou takiwa mō tōu, kiriata kua whakamahia e koe i a Muru. Anō reira, me tīmata i konei e te ui, ko te tika no mātou me tīmata ai te karakia. No reira, kia ino i tātou. Me anga atu o tātou nā kau kia iuhoa kei reira nei o tātou āwhina mō tātou. No ihoa te āwhina mō tātou no te kaihanga o te rangi o te whenua. E kore ia i tuku ihoa tātou waiwai kia nekehia e kore o tātou kaitiaki e moi. I nā e kore te kaitiaki o iha raira e parangia i te moi. Ko ihoa tō tātou kaitiaki, ko ihoa tō tātou whakamarumaru ki tōna ringa matau. E kore tātou e pākia ki te uru o te marama rāna i te pō. Mā ihoa tātou e tiaki nā kino katoa mahia hai tohu i o tātou wairua. Mā ihoa e tiaki o tātou haerenga atu me o tātou haerenga mai. Mā aia nei ake tonu atu, kroria ki tōna inua tapu. Āmine. Tēnā koe, me huri ki te reo kāpene koki kia mārama atu te mare ahakoa, you know, kei te taimai te wiki o te reo Māori, me huri tai atu ki te reo o te kāpene koki. No reira, kia koe, Chief, te Arepa Kahi, welcome to te korimako o Taranaki, 94.8 and 98.4 in our region here, in our takiwa of Taranaki. We've got a pretty special guest there, whānau. He's coming in from the far north, te hiku o te ika, te hāhi rātana. Yeah, hei kōrero atu mō tātou. It drops today. It drops today in cinemas all around the motu e te iwi. We've got free tickets. We've had these free tickets for you to try and to get you in, because we know you have been wanting it in Te Hāwera, in the cinemas there in New Plymouth. I think we got 4 showings in both both cinemas today, tomorrow, and during the weekend. So it dropped today. He's had a massive build-up. He's had 2 weeks. Mo tāku whanauna, a Nikarua me taku kraua, a Tamiti i takatakahi te mata o te whenua, a i nā mata o Aotearoa nei ki te whakamohio ki te iwi, a ko wai rātou, ko wai tēnei tanata, a ko wai tēnei tanata no roto o te whārua o rua toki, a o tira te whārua o matahi, me te waimana kāku, tūhoi maumau kai, maumau taonga, maumau tangata ki te pō. Kia koe, Chief. So, the big question, who are you, my man? That's what we want to know. You've done heaps of films, Poye. I know you've been in a few others, that dancing one that you done. And let us know.
Yeah, bro. Te pauri, te tuakana tāmati, tēnā koe. Nōku ke te waimaria. Ko tō kōrero mai me mau, me utonu tau ki te reo kāpini kuki. Kei te rere ngā mihi kia koe. Kia koutou. Mihi mai, Chief. Who am I? Touch player from Canterbury. Did heaps of battles with Hawera growing up. Grew up in Papa Nui in Pupuke. Basketball, that's been my love. And then a theatre company came to my school and sort of blew my imagination and my doors wide open. So I sort of left the rugby ball alone. I was no good at it anyway. And I picked up a pen. I jumped into a theatre company. So for 2 years, I was with a theatre company. And that's where our story crafts came through. But who am I really? I make good cups of tea for Papa Tame. So when he says put the kettle on, I get that kawa and I scrunch it up. I know how he likes it.
Tika tau.
We started with Mount Zion, which was a film based on my father's community up in Pupuke. So that was a film about all our spud picking uncles and cousins putting on a show and trying to get a moment with Bob Marley. But Muru is the elevation of all these sort of steps, you know, spending time with your whānau and pātea. That was a beautiful time, and seeing all the strands and all the way in which Dalvanius conducted the community. Muru is the next step up, I think. It's an opportunity to respond artistically and culturally to not only the events of the 15th of October 2007, but also in April 1916. So it's a film that we're not trying to recreate the events of one day. We're responding to 2 raids against your whānau by the government to ensure that day never happens again.
Yeah, tika tau, e rā tau, you know, raupatuhia te kāwanatana i o mātou whenua ko te scorched earth policy back then. And as you would have seen, there was the demarcation line where Korotame and them right there at, I think it's Ohotu, no, not Ohotu Road, but just past there, te Mahuri, where Awaho Road, where a lot of our porotehi go up. Because for many years, I think about 20 years, we had a bit of a station there. Tūhoi, the most famous tangata ki te porotehi, a ienei kaupapa Māori. You know, ia ue pake i tamaiti ana, ko tātou e pūpū ana i nā waka topa. You know, kos kia mātou, he intruder ke tēnei, kāre mātou mōhio, anata whakamahi ana kai hautu i nā waka topa. And he station tērā, and the sign said, trespassers will be eaten, kaue, haere, tahuri tērā raina. Engari, he tika tau, and kei roto tonu ia mātou, tonu ko nā karakia katoa e pātu ki tērā e te arepa. Engari, ko tai atu anō, they came again.
Yeah,
you know,
came again.
And again.
Yeah, that's right.
And our community come together, bit shattered, but as Tūhoi said, te kotahia Tūhoi e ka kata te pō, the one Tūhoi makes Inenui te pō laugh. You know, we take it on our chin and we just up and take the whittle as a stride.
It's all in the film, brother. It is all in the film. That's what I'm most proud of, is that we really managed to be there. We didn't shoot this film in a West Auckland studio, bro. Hey,
can tell by the actors, bro.
We took it home, bro. We took it to Matahi, bro. We took it to Rewa Marae. We took it to Tuapo Marae. And it's all in the film. So kei reira te kākara, te hongi o te kāinga. And that's how I got together with Tame, really. You know, I've known Tame for a long time. My father was friends with him down in Christchurch while Tame was heading up the Ngā Tamatoa chapter down in Christchurch, bro.
Yep, multi-trade training, he started down there,
That's
Chief.
right. That's right. And so he comes from where you come from, and he's Ngāti Wairere, and I'm from Ngāti Pawa and Ngāti Hine down in Waikato. So ko taku tūranga waiwai ko rangiriri. And that's how we got together, bro. That's how we got together.
And what brought you on to make this film? What gave you the inspiration to go and seek that from Te Whārua Rua Toki? Because, you know, as I seen in those actors, they're just humble as. You see them on the marae peeling the potatoes. They didn't become millionaires overnight. You know, they're more faces for radio like mine. I don't know what they were doing on that screen. My poor cousins. They didn't even get the makeup. But yeah, tika tau. And how did you feel about our whānau there? You know, because a korotame, me mohio koutou e te iwi, he's vegan. My korotame, who lives in Te Rewera Marae, he doesn't live in anything fancy, but he wears his heart on his sleeve. Quite the humble guy. Doesn't talk a lot on the marae. He has a bit of a giggle, quietly spoken, and that's about it, unless you're interviewing him. And then
you know him, bro. You know him. That's how you described him, as exactly who he is. And he's been vegan before it was trendy, bro. He's been vegan for a long time, bro. Before this whole time. Yeah. But, you know, Tame, myself, and Cliff, we got together and we felt that there was an opportunity to get beyond the indifference of the government, to really bring the dilemma of being Indigenous to home, to the cinema. Because this is the dilemma for a lot of our people, is that when they are given the responsibilities in terms of their social standing, whatever that role might be, especially a community officer, you can feel that you are serving the government, you can feel that you are serving the community, but there's that moment when the whip cracks, bro, and you have to make a decision. So going into that decision of, am I the badge or am I the whārua? You know, that is a big dilemma for a lot of our people. And so it was about shining a bit of a spotlight on that dilemma for us, as well as getting beyond the indifference that the government have always adopted. They've always taken this position of, what do you mean we did this 100 years ago? We've got no knowledge of that. Let's do it again. Let's keep pushing that red button. And I think Muru is the opportunity to shape a big film into a very, very well-crafted bullet that can plant that seed of doubt to our people that says, hey, if the order's bad, you've got the power and take up the courage to ask the question, because you don't need to carry it out if the information's faulty. So it's going in a lot of directions, bro. It's not just the obvious one. It's not just the black and white issue for us, especially when we're living with our communities every day. And hopefully there's a lot to be gleaned, and there's a lot of new realizations to be made from this film and the various characters that fill the cast of Muru. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. And it's entrenched in, it's entrenched in us when we grew up, you know, as I was telling my story just then, that when he waka topa topa, if there was a jet boat, man, we used to throw rocks at it, because it's just entrenched in us that those people who are not from our community, they may do bad, which is what we all always see. And looking on Te Rewerewa Bridge, you know, what happened there, the scene, I don't know, was it my Uncle Richard Thrupp or was it my Uncle Boy
Bro, we took inspiration. We had time with all of your uncles. We had time from all of your uncles to make sure that we were right there, you know, that it is authentic. We were always asking ourselves the question, are we in the ballpark? How close are we? How close can we get? And, you know, this dilemma, it's big time, bro, because as you say, it's these behaviorisms, they're entrenched, but they came from somewhere because someone decided that we weren't worth talking to. That's the thing with Tame, is that sliding door is always open. Everybody in Tūhoe, you got a question? Ask. The door is open. The kettle's on. The kawakawa, we just scratch it up, put it in the pot. It's good. And they decided not to talk. They decided to assume, and they decided to harm. And if we can get beyond that, then we have an opportunity to really see each other for the first time. So the commitment to Muru was a commitment to demask, Power needs to demask. Community is here.
Tika tau. And how was your research project on interviewing those tamariki who are iruna i te i ngā pahi, eh? You know, in Akukuia? Because when we got the call, we heard, we got the calls before we seen it on the TV that they just ram-raided a lot of our paukuias whare and our crowers. And the tamariki o irunga i ngā pahi, you know, e haere re atu rā, i runga i te i ngā rori. And we were thinking, what's going on here? What's going on? It was a bit of a shambles for us. You know, we were a bit heartbroken, even though we were at boarding school, but it still affects us in many ways. And it was, how is that portrayed to the viewer once you're taking in those interviews?
That's right. And I think, you know, how was the research? The research was extensive, but when we wrote the sort of what you could call the faithful depiction of sequence of events, we realized that we were missing the broader context and the broader story. So in order to get to that truth that you're describing, we managed to get away from just being about headlines or a sequence of events that happened on the day. So we really have brought a century's worth of Korero into this film. Honestly, being with Tame and being with Nika, being with Papa Tame and Nika and Ati and taking this around Motu, they have activated all of these awesome pockets and communities of Tūhoe that have been quiet because of 2007, bro. And so it's like being on the wellness tour with Papa Tame, and so many new strands and stories. You talk about being at boarding school, but the effect. Someone else, Raiha, talked about being in Seoul, in Korea, but it still had an effect. Yeah, and so there's actually a lot more stories and a lot more weaving to be done. And hopefully this film, it just blasts the doors open now. Everyone can share, because even today, bro, the government sits in comfortable in their ignorance, that they have yet to realize the full impact of pushing that button, even though the sliding doors were all unlocked and open to them.
Yeah, because he's very much a humble guy, my korotame. You know, even Atsi, he does a lot of artwork. Yeah. And I think he might have been in Taupo or on the road at the time that it all went down, if my memory serves me correctly. And I'm not having, because I haven't had the opportunity to see the movie yet, Chief. But is it portrayed in there, Atsi's side, that he was on the road? And
this is going to be the thing, that when you sit down with your whānau, the community, the school kids, with our people, with our hapu in the theatre, it's not trying to piece together the TV3 headline story or put together the anatomical sequencing of who was where. We've gone way beyond that. We've gone into the allegorical story. So I think everybody, and we've taken that decision with a lot of consciousness and understanding, because we really need the government's eyes to open beyond Ati wasn't Taupo, wasn't here. You know, we need to get beyond that. So there's a big step to be taken. I wouldn't say it's a leap of faith, but artistically we're taking it back to the tupuna, bro, bringing an allegorical scope to these real events.
That's the one, bro, the allegorical scope. Tēnā koe, Chief Motera. And
Taranaki knows what we're saying there, bro. Ngā kupu whakaaria titoko waru.
Ai, tika tau he tanata mata ura koe rātou tātou kupu hau mo tēnei wiki mo tāku hōtaka. So, Joyce, e te iwi, tēnā whakarongo mai tiki te allegorical. Hea te mata ura, learned man, the chief, te arepa. Engari, ka mihi atu kia koe mo te whakahua i tēnei kiriata, e pā atu ki tāku iwi o Tūhoe, i o mahi katoa. I roto i te ao Māori, o tira ki a tērā kiriata i a poi e, i whakamahi atu i a koe i te taha o oku whanauna, a ki taku pāpā nei ki nā taha o Pātea, o Ngāti Ruanui o Taranaki. Yeah. And I knew those Mount Zion are more than just a spud picker, and there was always my catchphrase coming out of that movie, and was always my what's the kupu? Hea te kupu name? Encouragement to just keep learning and keep being something that you can be. And in this movie, and in this movie, in Muru, as we know, it's entrenched in us, not only in Tūhoe, but in all the iwis across. It's just happened that we got a better story out of Tūhoe and the government with their interactions, that we can tell it a bit better. And we can see a bit of the untenaciousness of the government and how they portray themselves. But hey, we live, we learn, we forgive, and we work together, and we live together, and we see where we come from. But yeah, I think you might need a bit of makeup for a few of my cousins on those next movies. If there's a second one there, Chief, just give them, tell them on. Kaita hia, whakaki. Engari, any kupu whakamutuna ki a koe before we set them up, Chief?
E iti taku iti, nui te mihi ki a koe tau e whakarongo mai nā. Me kaua tātou e mataku, me kaha tātou, te pōkai kaha āwhānau nei ki ngā kōrero ki te puna o Muru, te tūmanako i te mea ko te wai e rere ana ko te wai o tūhoi. Tēnā koe. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe, ko te wai o tūhoi, ko ōhine mataroa, te awa e wai rere nei ki roto nei o te whārua o Ruatoki, ko tauranga te awa e rere nei ki roto te whārua o te waimana kāku, koira tonu nā wai rere. Hoki o atu ki o mauna, kia pure ai nā hau o tāwhiri mātea, hoki atu ki o awa, kia rongo tau kiri ki te wai o tau tīpuna. Tēnā koe, Chief, tēnā koe mō aumahi katoa i roto i te ao Māori, i nā kiriata Māori, kua whakahua nei i mō mātau o te ao Māori, o Taranaki, o Tūhoi hoki, i ēnei kaupapa, whakanunui atu i a tātou. 2 weeks whānau, te arepa's been dropping it, it's been hitting, and today it drops. Muru in cinemas nationwide, hit out there. I know Te Hawera, we have four viewings. I know New Plymouth, Ngāmotu, we have 4 viewings. We got 3 tickets for you to go. Mena hia no koutou, ki te haere, whakamōhio mai, whakapātuhi mai ki a mātou runa i te korimako, i tō mātou whārangi ipuranga i a pukamata, ki a koe. Tēnei te mihi ki a koe i whakamānahia, nā mātou te whiwhi, nā mātou te maringa nui i rangatira hia, e koe i a mātou me o tātou ia rere i tēnei rā. E Chief, te Arepa Kahi, ngā mihi ki a koe.
I have visual on the horse rider.
Hey, Ninja.
Sir, I believe we've uncovered a domestic cell.